Confronted my cheating mom and homewrecker stepdad, but now my dad's new romance has stirred up even more family drama. My 17F mom, 45F, cheated on my dad, 46 male, 7 years ago with my stepdad, Alan, 50 male. I was 10 at that time. I knew that my mom had another boyfriend that made them to get a divorce. My dad was devastated to say the least. My dad fought hard to get custody from my mom because he did not want to lose me at all. He did end up getting 50-50. Ever since my parents' divorce, I hated my mom. I hated that she hurt my dad. I remember my dad drinking himself to sleep after the divorce. I was 11 and had to push him out of the couch and cleaned his vomit. I saw what my mom did to my dad, and my stepdad was also to blame for it. My dad did clean up and started to make changes in his life and became a good father figure for me. But he still suffered from the aftermath of my mom's infidelity. He was finally in a better place now. He has worked enough to build a relationship with me too. Suffice to say, the relationship I had with my mom never recovered. I hated going to her place and watch her play family with some random guy. She never made an effort to keep our family together, yet she happily became the loving wife to him. I hated him too. My mom tried really hard to make me forgive her. She said sorry and apologized. I never missed a chance to remind her that she was the one who broke my family. It will make her cry that her own daughter wants nothing to do with her, but I didn't care. I would lock myself in my room the entire time and not come out. I was always loud and clear that I don't like my stepdad, even though he also tried to make it up to me. Any gift he would give me, I would just give it away. Last year my mom, Alan, and I had a huge fight. I called my mom a cheating whore who destroyed my family. I also called Alan a homewrecker and said, I hope your own son gets cheated on so that you know what the pain is like. Alan screamed at me that he is tired of my shit. I left their house and went to stay with Dad. I thought it was so unfair that my mom lives happily ever after and my dad was left behind to pick the pieces of our broken home. That's when my dad sat me down and told me that I should have never talked to my mom like that. Sure, she made bad choice, but she is still my mother. And then he told me he forgave her, and it is for the best that I forgive her because it will make me free. My dad went on to explain that in his therapy he realized his marriage had problems. He thought that just because everything was going on a routine and there was silence, he took it a sign that everything was fine. However, he learned a lot about relationship and himself over the last 7 years and has tried to become someone I could look up to. He tells me he is dating someone else and he is happy with the life he is now, though there are some triggers. I was happy to hear that my dad was doing okay. And it made me realize I was being irrational. I am still mad at mom, but I decided to give her a chance. I said sorry to both my mom and stepdad. I also said sorry to my stepbrother and my half-brother. Things have been calm and cool for a while. I met my dad's girlfriend. She seems awesome. She has 2 kids who are under 10, though she is much younger than my dad, but I didn't care. As long as dad is happy, I'm happy for him. So, few days ago, I was chatting with my mom. I brought up the fact that I met my dad's girlfriend this week and she seems nice. My mom's expression changes. She went from having a smile to frown. She says, I didn't know your dad was dating. I said I didn't either, but my dad is taking things slow. I told her she is really nice and cool. My mom then lashed out and called me a hypocrite. She said that for years her stepdad and her have been trying hard to make me forgive them. They went out of their ways to make it right. And I still didn't accept them. But I accepted my dad's girlfriend in a heartbeat, and suddenly she is this cool step-parent. I was angry too, so I blurted out, at least she didn't cheat on my dad like you. I also said that I would never accept my stepdad as a good human because he is the reason why I grew up in a broken family. That I do not owe them anything after how they treated my dad. I respect my dad's GF more than I respect them because at least she didn't cheat on him and left him to pick up the broken pieces of our family. In fact, she is the reason why dad is happy now, and she will always be above my stepdad. I stormed out and stayed with the friends. I know I shouldn't have said that. I mean, firstly, my dad and his GF has only been dating for 6 months. My mom and dad were married for 13 years, and I felt like I oversold their relationship to mom. But I feel like an off for how I worded it. My dad turned to alcohol right after my mom cheated on him and he discovered it. The divorce just made it worse. He did love my mom with his heart, and I saw how much he adored her. I was angry that my mom betrayed him and my family. If the divorce was amicable and did not involve infidelity, I would have understood, but my mom lied to him and me for a year, duration of her affair. I remember my mom telling my dad she loves him and then going to her AP after that. The thought just disgusted me. Also, yes, my dad did let himself go after the divorce, but he cleaned himself. He doesn't drink anymore and he has been an involved father ever since. He said that seeing me clean his vomit really hit him, that if he doesn't get his shit together he would lose me as well. She had her second chance when she walked out of her family. The only difference is my dad didn't cheat. He was a loyal husband who loved his wife. Even after the divorce, he pushed me to maintain a relationship with mom. In 30 years maybe I will forgive her, but her face will always remind me of my dad just being suicidal and ripping off my family for her own selfish needs. You have no idea what my dad went through. It is easy for you to label him pathetic when you haven't been in his shoes. I was young, but I wasn't stupid. I understood that my mom left our family for another man, and that was enough to make me not want to trust her again. Regardless, my dad pulled through. He came clean and was a better parent than my mom was. He said sorry for not being able to keep his family together, and he was the one who got me to therapy. My mom only gave a half-assed apology and brushed it off without considering my feelings. I went to therapy when I was 14. I accepted that their marriage had problems, but it doesn't justify her cheating. The trust I had for her broken. It will never be the same. Maybe in few years I will have somewhat common grounds with my mom. But our relationship will never be the same. The scar will always remain that she chose a random man over her own family. My dad and GF are dating for 6 to 7 months now. My dad only introduced us recently. I have yet to meet her kids. My dad said that he didn't tell me because he didn't want to add another person in my life without my consideration, because he has seen how the addition of stepdad did to me. He is taking it slow in that sense. I am still getting to know her, and I am still uncomfortable with the fact that she could be my new stepmom. It's not my dad's grief. Yes, seeing him like that, miserable and battered, made me sad, but her walking out on us messed me up. Plus she wanted me to call my stepfather dad. It is a parent's job to provide stability that also includes working on your marriage, which my mom never did. I do understand I hold grudge, but the relationship with my mom would not be the same. I just want to vent in here. So please bear with me. My mom and I don't have a good relationship. This was really because she cheated on my dad with my stepdad. I was 10 at that time. I remember watching my mom and dad fight. My dad crying and saying, why did she do this to him? Why did she break our family? She didn't stay. She left us and went to have her perfect life with my stepdad. I knew why. I was a kid, but still understood that she broke a promise to my dad. The very mom who told me to always keep promises broke her vow. I was devastated. I would cry because our house felt empty. My dad spiraled into depression and alcohol, but he came out clean just for me. I saw the amount of dedication my father gave to just provide some stability. He was there for me when I cried holding our family photo. I sometimes saw him holding that picture of us and being sad. I wish she could just understand how much I was hurt. But she didn't. She married my stepdad. After 5 months her divorce was finalized. She only gave me a vague half-assed apology. She didn't even apologize to my dad for her infidelity. I remember our camping trip when I was 8 and we took a picture. I also went on a trip with her new family, even though I didn't want to. She wanted to recreate the same picture, except this time it was with my stepdad. It just made me angry, because it looked like she wanted to replace my dad with a homewrecker. My therapist told me I shouldn't have to pick sides. I can love both my mom and dad despite their failures. But I couldn't. I do love my mom, but it is just not the same. As I grew up, I saw the difference between my mom and dad. My dad was always concerned about my well-being, providing me stability and an open space to show my emotion. Whereas my mom was only concerned that I accept her husband as my family. She kept pushing and trying to get him involved in my life. She even asked me to call him dad. That was the first time I lashed out on her. I told her I already have a dad and I will never replace him with anyone. She got upset and told me, when you will grow up you will know why I did what I did. It was wrong, but you would understand what led me to it. I am almost 18. I still don't understand why she had to hurt me and my dad. I get that they had marital problems, but if they divorced amicably I would understand. But no, she hurt me and my dad and broke our trust. I have been struggling with this a lot. I feel like I am the villain here because she sometimes implies that it is my fault for not accepting her husband in my life. That I am punishing her for what she did 7 years ago. But why doesn't she understand how her actions have hurt me? Why does she want me to just sweep it under the rug like nothing happened? Like her cheating and leaving didn't happen? I cannot play house with her and her family. I wish she could somehow understand what I'm going through. What my dad went through. But she just doesn't get it. So, moms here, please tell me that I am not going crazy for this. Update 1. Also, I need to address one thing. Many people criticized my dad for being an alcoholic. Well, he is not an alcoholic. He hasn't drank in 6 years. Yes, I did mention that he drowned his pain in alcohol when my mom cheated and after the divorce, but he stopped when he saw me trying to clean up his vomit. I know he was wrong. But he has done literally everything to make it up to me. He went to rehab and threw away all the alcoholic drinks in the house. He went to therapy and worked hard on his career. He even got me to therapy. He has apologized for his toxic behavior and also that he tried his best to keep our family together. He has always made an open space for me to express my feelings. I feel safe with him. I trust him. He never bad-mouthed my mother in front of me. Yes, he still suffers from anxiety, but he has it under control. I hated watching his and our lives getting uprooted. So, I don't think it is fair for you guys to blame my dad only when he changed for me. He came clean. He stopped being an alcoholic. But say this to me, can my mother undo her infidelity? Also, I know their marriage had problems, but is cheating the right thing for her to do? And I haven't mentioned a major thing, that is my stepdad and my dad used to be friends until the discovery of my mom's infidelity. He cut him off his life too. So yeah, you can imagine the pain both me and my dad went through. But I am proud of him for keeping his head straight. So, now the update. I talked to my dad and arranged therapy with my old therapist. I also suggested that we need family therapy as well. My dad fully supported me and said he will look into it. Lastly, I called my mom to say sorry, but instead my stepdad picked it up. I asked for my mom and he said that mom has locked herself in their bedroom because she is pissed. My mom has this habit that whenever she is mad she locks herself in a room. I asked why. He said that they had a fight about my dad. Basically, my mom had a hint that my dad was dating someone few weeks ago when he saw him at the local market with his GF. At that time, I knew he had a GF but didn't tell mom. She took the liberty to track her on Facebook. I'd how she got her id. My stepdad has caught her several times looking at my dad's GF. There were pictures of dad and her too. So, their argument was that my mom was basically obsessed with my dad's GF and has been stalking her. My stepdad said it's best that I do not speak to her for a while because she clearly has some issues of her own. Well, I don't know what to say. Someone you told me she was jealous that my dad moved on. This could just be it. I may or may not post any further updates. So, until then, see you guys. I will be in therapy working things out on my own. Edit, this is a repost. Edit 2, FFS people, I am really getting tired of people messaging me and commenting that my dad was a deadbeat dad who used me as a nurse. Some of you are so cruel that you guys think that my mom made the right choice by cheating on him and leaving him. To you, I have nothing else to say. You guys are just a bunch of triggered owls who only wants to blame the victim here. No, my dad was not alcoholic throughout his life. It only happened when he confronted my mom for her affair. It only lasted for like a year. And no, he didn't make me clean his vomit. I saw him covered in it so I cleaned him myself and then he woke up and saw me. I don't know how many times I have to repeat it. That was the first and last time it happened. You guys only see this part. But there is so much you don't know. He was the best dad I could ask for and I wouldn't trade it just because one time I had to clean him up. I don't care now. Because my dad has cleaned up my vomit numerous times when I was sick and he did it without a complaint. I cannot believe you guys are so pathetic that you are only fixated on that part and not the part where he actually cleaned himself up and made a better place for me. He was not a deadbeat or abusive in any ways. Deadbeat dads don't put their daughters to therapy and fight hard for their custody. Update 2. I was really disappointed in the people who are calling my dad a deadbeat. Some even said that he abused my mom. He has always been an alcoholic, he was a gambler and a serial cheater. Some even said that my dad should never have my custody because he was a fuck up. You guys seriously make me question humanity. Here is a guy who sacrificed everything for his daughter. Put his own life on hold so that I do not have to feel uncomfortable and all you guys have is nothing but criticism for him? Shame on you guys for berating someone who had already been through enough. I choose to forgive my dad because he acknowledged his mistakes. Also, he wasn't even that big of an alcoholic. He never had any drinking problem prior to the affair of my mom. Usually he used to drink in silence and never in front of me. That was the only fucking time he let himself go. Can't you guys just look past it? Or are you guys so petty that you are turning a blind eye on his sacrifices? And no, my dad is not a shitty dad at all. I guess you cannot please everyone. People are just going to draw their own conclusion. Also, please don't insult my intelligence by saying I don't know what happened. Over the last 7 years, I have been driving myself crazy over it. I asked mom why she did. I even asked if my dad was a bad husband or abusive. She denied both of those claims. Also, recently, I went through the same tragedy as my dad. I found out that my boyfriend of 2 years was cheating on me with my friend. I understand my dad more now that I am literally walking on his shoes. I am really devastated. I still cry a lot because of the betrayal I felt from those two people. My dad has tried everything to cheer me up. I am not in contact with my mom, and I just opened Reddit to keep my mind out of the complications in my life, but looking at how people are literally dragging my dad through the mud just made me angry. My dad is sad because I am sad. We are supposed to go to Disneyland next week. Now I am not excited anymore. I have always wanted to go there. My dad promised on my 9th birthday that he would take me. That didn't happen, as you know why. Finally he wanted to take me there after saving some money, but I don't think I will be able to enjoy now. I can't even ask him to cancel it because he planned this trip for us for the last 2 years. He is still with his GF. She did visit me yesterday and we talked. As far as my mom, I am not talking to her now. It is just too much to handle all at once. A lot of you have messaged me and asked to keep you guys updated. So, before I update, I am so grateful for those of you who have came to show support for me and my dad. I have read or tried to read your messages and comments. And honestly, those positive messages really got to me. I was not upset by the trolls. Also, I had beef with few of them too, but if I ever said something bad then please forgive me. I am still little smile. Anyways, back to the update. Well, from my last post you guys can see that I have in fact been cheated on. It is funny because in my first post I mentioned that the last time I had a fight with my stepdad I told him I hope his son gets cheated on so he knows how that feels. And now here I am losing my BF and my friend because they stabbed me in the back. I guess it is karma. The breakup is still fresh in my mind. I still cry sometimes thinking about it. But I am glad I have my other friends and obviously my dad with me. So I can hope I will be fine. And yes, I did end up going to Disneyland with my dad and we had a lot of fun. But my dad ended up becoming sick after we came back for a little while. He is better now. I guess he had some bad food on the way. Otherwise he is fine. I finally spoke to my mom. She came to visit me at my dad's house. My dad rarely sees her. So he was also shocked to see her. She looked a bit out of the place as if she was entering Narnia. She wanted to talk to me and my dad. Dad went inside his room to give us some privacy to talk. Then we sat down. She apologized to me for acting so irrationally and never taking my feelings into account. I what happened, but I asked her if she ever felt any guilt for cheating on my dad. She cried and said that she has always been guilty of how things ended between my dad and her. She didn't go much into details, but at that time my dad and her were having some marriage problems. She and dad wanted to work things out, but she was still feeling empty. Then my stepdad came and she found an escape from her life with him. She said she was selfish. She wanted to have it all, but she knew someday her lies would be caught, and it did. She mentioned that she and dad have grown distant because of the affair. She does regret and wishes she could have handled it better. She has spent 7 years or more with my stepdad, but deep down she still had feelings for my dad. Some day she even wakes up and guilt washes over her. She regrets ever starting the affair. The problem was not my dad or my stepdad. The problem was her. And she knows she has messed up a lot. I also opened up to her about my struggles in life. How I had to deal with the downfall of their marriage and how it has affected me over the last few years. I wish she had just ended things in good way rather than introducing a man that has become the bane of my existence. I wish she hadn't pushed me to accept him, knowing the pain he caused both me and my dad, and he doesn't seem to feel any remorse. She cried heavily this time and said she knows now how wrong it was, but she thought that if I accepted my stepdad then the affair wouldn't look so bad on her. I wanted to tell her that she was stupid and that's not how it works. I asked her why she was so obsessed with Layla, dad's GF. She told me that ever since their divorce there has always been a little spark of hope that someday her and dad would be together. She knows it is foolish for her to think that. But her subconscious mind was telling her that she and dad are the end game. But learning that he has moved on and started dating just freaked her out. I told her that is bullshit because she was the one who married her AP and went on to have a family with him. It is so disgusting and immoral for her to even think that, especially after she was the one who cheated and left. If she still thinks that she has a chance with dad, then she is either delusional or simply stupid. She doesn't get to dictate how others feel and doesn't get to control what I feel. She says she understands and has been a mess for a long time. She opened up about her own marital situation, which is not good ATM. I also shared my story of being cheated on. She tried to hug me and said it will be okay. It just made me angry. I told her I don't need her sympathy now. Especially in matters of cheating. I do love her as a mother. I am grateful that she has cared for me and especially being honest with me about this situation. But I do not want to talk to her now. I want to go LC until she sorts things that are messed up with her. She needs therapy and she only should focus on my half-brother. After our conversation ended, my mom and dad talked in his room. I didn't try to eavesdrop or tried to listen, so I do not know what they talked. But after coming out of the room, my mom looked very defeated. After that we talked a little and she bid us goodbye. I did tell her that I want her in my graduation and other big events, but I want to have some boundaries when it comes to my stepdad. So that closes mom chapter for a while. And yes, my dad knows about my mom's meltdown and that's why he wanted to talk to her in private. I don't think this issue is solved here. I honestly laughed a little because my dad and my mom has not been in contact for a long time and he should know. On the bright side, I did get to meet Layla's kids. Ever since my dad became sick, she has been coming frequently to cook or clean. Sometimes she would bring her kids and I do enjoy playing with them. I always wished to have siblings and now I have 3. Update 3. I've been accepted to 3 universities, all with decent scholarships. Dad was over the moon when we got the acceptance letters. He took me out to celebrate at this fancy restaurant downtown that we could never really afford before. He kept saying how proud he was of me, and I could see tears in his eyes. It meant everything to see him so happy after all we've been through. Layla came with us too, and she brought a small gift, a beautiful journal with my name engraved on it. She said it was for writing down all my college adventures. It was thoughtful, and I actually really appreciated it. I've decided on attending State University, which is only about an hour away from home. Dad tried to convince me to go to the better ranked school that's further away, saying I shouldn't worry about him, but I know he'd miss me terribly. Plus, I'm not ready to be that far from him yet. Speaking of Layla, things between her and Dad have gotten pretty serious. They've been dating for almost a year now, and last month, Dad nervously told me he was thinking about asking her to move in. I could tell he was worried about my reaction, but honestly, I'm okay with it. Layla has been nothing but respectful of my relationship with Dad. She never tries to act like my mom or overstep boundaries. Her kids, Emma, 9, and Tyler, 7, are actually pretty cool too. We've had several movie nights together, and I've even babysat them a couple times when Dad and Layla went out. What I appreciate most is how happy Dad seems. He smiles more, laughs more, and seems more relaxed than I've seen him in years. Sometimes I catch them dancing in the kitchen while making dinner, or holding hands while watching TV. It's nice to see him loved properly. After the disaster with my cheating ex, I swore off dating for a while. The betrayal hit me harder than I expected, especially given what happened with Mom and Dad. For a few months, I was really cynical about relationships in general. But recently, I met someone in my advanced physics class. His name is Noah, and he's different from my ex in every way. He's thoughtful, smart, and actually listens when I talk. We've only been on 3 dates, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Dad met him last week and seemed to approve, though he gave Noah the typical dad interrogation. I'm being much more careful this time. The experience with my ex taught me a lot about watching for red flags and not ignoring my intuition. Dad says I shouldn't let one bad experience ruin my trust in everyone, and I'm trying to take that advice to heart. Things with Mom have been complicated. After our last conversation where she admitted still having feelings for Dad, I needed space from her. It was too much to process on top of everything else. She's respected my boundaries for the most part, though she still texts me almost daily. Sometimes it's just random things about her day, other times it's asking how I'm doing. I respond when I feel like it, which isn't always. Last month, she asked if we could meet for lunch, just the two of us. I agreed, mostly out of curiosity. She looked different, more subdued somehow. She told me she and Alan are in marriage counseling. Apparently, his discovery of her obsession with Dad's relationship with Layla caused a major rift between them. The most surprising part was when she told me she's finally started individual therapy too. She said she's trying to understand why she did what she did, and why she held on to the fantasy of getting back with Dad even after marrying someone else. I didn't say much during lunch. I mostly just listened. When she asked about Dad and Layla, I was honest but kept details minimal. She seemed sad but didn't react badly. Progress, I guess. My high school graduation is next month, and I've decided to invite both Mom and Dad. Alan isn't invited though, that's my boundary, and Mom has agreed to respect it. Dad will bring Layla, which Mom knows about. Dad has been helping me plan a small party afterward at his house. Nothing fancy, just close friends and family. Layla offered to help with the food and decorations, which was nice of her. I'm nervous about having Mom and Dad in the same space with their respective partners, but they're adults and I hope they can handle it maturely. This day is about me, after all, and I want to enjoy it without drama. As I prepare to start this new chapter of my life, I find myself reflecting on everything that's happened. The pain of my parents' divorce and Mom's affair still lingers, but it doesn't consume me like it once did. Dad says healing isn't linear, and he's right. Some days are harder than others. Sometimes I still get angry when I think about how our family fell apart, but those moments are becoming less frequent. I'm proud of how far Dad has come. From the broken man cleaning up his life for my sake to the happy, healthy person he is now. He deserves every bit of happiness he's found with Layla. As for Mom, I'm not sure what our relationship will look like going forward. I don't think we'll ever be as close as we once were, but maybe we can build something new, something based on honesty and respect for boundaries.